Dan, 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 dan. Do, 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 do. What song is that? Deep Purple, man. Come on, some Deep Purple. All right. That's not Deep Purple. I think that's Frankenstein, man, by who the hell was it? I knew them too. These guys would come to the clubs all the time. It was I don't know. I'll think of the hell their name is. I'll think of them. There are two brothers. I think from Norway. Anyway, while you're listening to my brain smoking, trying to get working, just trying to get working. I'm watching the world crumble. Watching the world crumble from my crow's nest. You know, people are like, I love how this government works and all governments, and they don't know anything about anything, man. And just when I think, like, man, it might be being too critical on these people. I mean, they got to know something about something, you know? And, nope. Oh, Edgar Winter. The Winters, Edgar Winter. Anyway, it comes down to this. They don't know Putin. They don't know him. They don't know him. I know Putin because I've been paying attention. I'm not a world leader. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not an Indian chief. I'm not a plumber. I'm not an electrician. I'm not any of that stuff. I'm a researcher. And when you're a researcher and you're always got your head in data and you're always data mining and you're always paying attention, not just to the events, because the events are tainted. It's a filtered event that you're seeing on the news. It's like this kid in Chicago that just got killed, 15 years old, right? Working at a gas station for, telling people I'll pump your gas for $1 or something, right? Or I'll pump your gas, and he just asks. And enterprising young kid, disenfranchised little black kid, crummy section of Chicago, where things go wrong all the time. And if youthful people aren't in gangs, they have a hard time existing other than that. Sure, this kid was a shining diamond in a horrible sea of swill. And so here's a news story. The kid gets shot 24 times going there at the gas station buying some snacks for his family. Shot 24 times, dead. Right? And I'm reading the story, and I'm not seeing the story. I'm not seeing it in the news I had NBC on today for some reason. And I'm looking up at the screen every once in a while, and all they're talking about these cops killing these black guys. Like that's like all they talk about. And uh, it's like constant. And I'm thinking, and I say on the show all the time, do you really think that the problems in the black community are police officers? You know, so it wasn't a cop that killed this kid that got shot 24 times. And he'll just be another name, another coffin, another funeral, another family devastated in a place like Chicago, that the mayor of Chicago, she has more concerned with people who lie, saying they were attacked, that idiot Juicy Smollier attacked during a blizzard by two Nigerian guys in a MAGA hat. You know what? That's how loony this world is. It's a lunacy. But I'm going to tell you why it's not about right and wrong. Okay? The media hate baits and they race bait. They know people are going to watch. They know they say a cop killed a black guy. These people are going to tune in. There's going to be anger. They can even stir it all the way up to a protest. And the protest will turn into a looting event, burning down houses and police stations, harming people, shooting people, raping people, and these things, stabbing people, everything bad you can imagine. Not a protest. They call it a protest. It's a criminal event, right? not a protest. It may start off as a protest from a certain point of view, but then it turns into all the profiteers coming out and people who certainly would do damage. And the Democrats have the audacity to say it's the Republicans who are paying people to come in and commit all these crimes and loot the stores. Yeah, these are Republicans paying people to do that, right? And as long as you have that mentality, you're going to have an understanding that nothing will ever be solved in these communities. And it's these communities where people suffer the most that the Democrats are in a firm control of. They've always run these places. People have always suffered. And then they blame somebody else. So at what point do you wake up that all these people saying they're woke? At what point do you truly wake up and understand, stand back and use your clarity, use your vision, and see the way people are used, see the way people are controlled, see the way people are led around by a leash and a collar in this world? So the media will say, black cop shoots a black guy. Well, what happened? Why did that happen? Well, the black guy was committing a crime and gave resistance and whatever. There was a big fight, and the cop ended up shooting him. That's what happens a lot. That the cops wouldn't be there if somebody wasn't committing a crime. It wasn't like they just saw a guy walking down the street and say, "Oh, let's beat up this guy." Does that happen? Oh, I'm sure it does. I've known back in the day, but most likely they show up when there's a crime committed, right? Okay, whatever. You don't want to put the responsibility in the people's hands who are committing the crimes. You want to put the responsibility and the restraint on the force, the enforcement that shows up when these crimes are committed. Granted, the police shouldn't overact. They shouldn't hurt people needlessly. There's a whole bunch of things they shouldn't do. Should be professional and courteous, and they're there to protect and serve everyone in that community, every person, right? So, but the media, the truck drivers in Ottawa, right? You've got Trudeau, who revoked people's civil rights in Canada. Let me say that again. He revoked people's civil rights in Canada. So, of course, Canada has no free speech, right? They have no First Amendment. And the place that the Whoopi Goldbergs and all the other limousine liberals in Hollywood reference as Canada being land of the free, they don't have any of that. And they tell you what to do and you do it. It's not land of the free. It's in fact, it's quite the opposite. So who vilifies the truck drivers in this protest? All right, it's a peaceful protest. There's no fires. There's no violence. There's no burning down police stations. There's no attacks. There's no looting. There's nothing like that. Who's vilifying the truck drivers? The American liberal media. The very people that you would think would be on their side because they're fighting for people's rights, no? Oh, but it goes against what they think. It goes against their own views. If they're anti-vaxxers, then that's the opposite of the view, the agenda from these media outlets. So it's not about right and wrong. It's not about human rights or anything like that. It's about agenda, power, and money. And that's all that it is. Look at CNN trying to clean house. Oh, they got rid of Cuomo because Cuomo was looking for dirt for his brother's accusers, his sexual assault brother, he's a sex fiend, whatever he is. Then it turns out that that Cuomo himself, Chris Cuomo from CNN, now has an accuser saying that 11 years ago, they're coming out with it 11 years later, like 11 years, And this is how fast they turn on each other, like rats in a sewer that have nothing to eat. They'll eat each other, man. I'm from New York City, I have to pull out the rat analogy. You're from Long Island, you don't understand. But that's the deal. The deal is they want to program your brain to fight the agenda with them. That's why they appeal to their audience. That's what they do. So I'm gonna blow your minds right now. They're gonna be blown. Snoop Dogg, rapper, artist. I like his rap. I like his music. Got a long criminal history. He seemingly pulled himself out of a bad situation and sort of turned it into whatever he's in now. Lately, I just see him with Martha Stewart. It's mind-boggling, but okay. And the Halloween thing. He was doing a Halloween thing, and I was gonna like, all right, let me tune in for 3 seconds. I don't know why I did. I don't know why I did. Just to talk about it later on and laugh. So I really did. I tuned in maybe for like literally 10 seconds. I see Martha Stewart on there. Snoop Dogg sitting next to her, dressed like a dog with a collar on, and she's got like a leash on his ass. And then he's like doing his doggy dog style. That's him, Snoop Dogg, dog style, dog, that type of thing. And then he's like, "They with Martha Stewart, the only woman that could tame the dog." I couldn't even believe he said that. That just sounded so wrong. But this is the deal. He appeals to a certain group of people. So does she, right? So does everybody on that you see. Every famous person, right? They appeal to their group, you know. If it's even a television station or a radio station, it doesn't matter what it is, it appeals to that group. It could be a book, and those books are written for that group. Those TV shows are made for that group. The movies are made for that group. The music is made for that group. There's not that many groups of people out there. If you want to divide them down, Lao Tzu said that there was 5 types of people. The lowest are like oxen. I get that. I get that, Lao Tzu. I understand that completely. So it doesn't take much to control people. You just have, notice that I know a lot of talented people. They don't get famous. You know, is it luck of the draw? Some of them are way more talented than the people that are out there. In fact, I think a lot of people are out there that aren't even all that talented. Taylor Swift, you could tell me she's talented? Really? Kanye, that dude, I've heard his stuff. I heard his stuff because I didn't even know what the hell he did. I thought he was just married to Kim Kardashian, and that she's famous for doing nothing. I was talking to one of my family members earlier, and I was like, I was watching these movies from like the late '70s, early '80s. I was feeling nostalgic. I've been on that kind of trip lately, and the women look good, really good. They look good in their face. They look natural. They look right. They don't look like the women now. The big giant lips, the Botox tight faces. People don't look real anymore to me. Women anyway. They don't look real. They look like they're made of plastic or something. It doesn't look right. This is the Kardashian era. This is the era that you need these giant lips or the tight faces, or when women start to age and their faces start to drip down a bit. They want to get the Botox. They want to get all these different things, which, you know what? They're not cheap, man. They're not cheap at all. And they sell women on the idea of this beauty. When women complain about them not having rights, right? And the agenda, the media, doesn't talk about Botox being against women, being against or the the lip thing or any of that, all the plastic surgery. They don't talk about that being against women. In fact, they say the opposite. That makes them, if it makes them feel beautiful, they should have it, whatever. Who do you think sponsors these stations? You think that all these pharmaceutical companies aren't firmly in control? And then they're the ones who are designing this? When I was young girls wore makeup to make themselves look older. So then why would older women wear makeup? I mean, you want to cover some stuff up. But let me tell you, natural is the best. And the Botox looks ridiculous. It's easy to see. The big lips is easy to see. And just be your damn self, you know? Be yourself. Don't get caught up in this sales game. It's a sales game. Just a bunch of goddamn sheep, and people define themselves in what? In their Botox and what kind of furniture they have in their house. What kind of house they? Oh, you got a McMansion. You got a nice car. A big fat SUV in the driveway, BMW or Mercedes, something like that, something high end. That's the status these people have. They want the status. Look at the Kardashians. Look how disgusting they are. I find them to be on a demonic level, believe it or not. I think that they themselves have done a lot of damage to humans that have followed that. And it's not the intelligent people out there. No intelligent people are sitting there watching the Kardashians. You can't show me someone who's got even half a brain. That's gonna, cause it's bubble gum for the brain, even for idiots. But that's what the deal is. And those people want to be like that. They strive to be like that. They want the big purses for thousands of dollars. They want all the glitz and the glamour and all that, right? They want to be part of all that. What are they known for? Well, Kim Kardashian got famous because she had a porno out with some sports guy. That's how she got famous, because she was in a porno with some sports dude. And it mysteriously got online. Come on, man. Look what it did to Bruce Jenner. You know what I mean? Oh, Bruce Jenner. So I'm going to talk about the murder and the blood on Democrats' hands in New York City, and how they're letting criminals roam the streets. They're not putting people away. They don't believe in putting people in jail anymore in New York City. And then you got a mayor in New York City who's already playing the race card. Oh my God. It's February 17th. You just got in, dude. And you were already saying that the media is judging you unkindly because you're black. Oh my God. I actually know people that suffered from racism. I know black people that got hit in the head with a brick during the civil rights movement, trying to solve something, problems in our society. This goes beyond all of that. You got these people that just use it as an excuse. The guy got voted in mayor of New York City is going to complain. I'm going to read that story to you. You're going to get mad. I don't care what color you are. It doesn't matter what you are. We're all people, right? That's it. We're all people. And then when the white, black, you just do it because you're black, you don't like me because I'm white. I can't stand that stuff, because there really is racism out there. Like this story here. Christina Yuna got stabbed to death by a guy. Christina Yuna Lee's blood is on the hands of Democrats. A homeless career criminal with 3 open cases, stalks 3 open cases. The guy has stalks a young woman, forces his way into her Chinatown apartment, stabs her to death. And the Democrats blame everything from Donald Trump to the end of the child tax credits. Everything except their anti-cop, soft on crime policies that have caused the inevitable breakdown of law and order that led to this gruesome death of this woman. That's what they have done. You are what you do. This is what they do. Lee's murder is every woman's worst nightmare. Probably everybody's worst nightmare, period. You don't get stabbed 40 times with some psychopath. Her screams brought the police, but by the time they managed to break the reinforced steel door, she was dead in her bathtub, stabbed 40 times. Surveillance footage shows suspected killer Asamad Nash loitering outside her apartment building when she returned home. You'll notice these days, if it's a black guy that commits a crime, they don't mention that in the article. If it's a white person that commits a crime against a black person, they sell that in the article. They plaster it all over the place. If it's a white cop that commits a crime against a black guy unarmed, or anything like innocent person gets hurt, it's a huge white, black, white, black, white, black. But when a black person commits a crime against anybody else, including other black people, it doesn't get listed. In fact, they didn't even want to put pictures in. They got pictures of this guy. He looks like a freaking demon, man. Oh my God. He looks like a freaking demon. Look at his eyes. This dude is messed up. And he already had a bunch of cases. So surveillance footage shows a suspected killer, Asamad Nash, loitering outside her apartment building when she returned home alone in a cab. early Sunday, and then coolly pushing open the door behind her. See, she messed up, man. You walk through the door, you close the door behind you. That's New York City, baby. You know, you take two steps, you turn your head sideways to make sure no one's following you. That's New York City, baby. Yeah, she must have been a little drunk or something. Uh, let's see. He would have never been there that night if Albany lawmakers had not vandalized the bail laws in 2020. He should have been in jail. Nash reported that Nash reportedly had been arrested 7 times since 2017, has 3 open cases in Manhattan criminal court, and he was already out on bail for an alleged subway assault when he was arrested again last month and charged with 27 counts of criminal mischief, attempted escape, resisting arrest, crimes that have been decriminalized by Alvin Bragg. Alvin Bragg, the new progressive, don't call him even a progressive, the new liberal extremist Manhattan and DA. He's the district attorney in Manhattan. He decriminalized sex crimes. He decriminalized resisting arrest, things like that. And he's a DA. He's there to protect you and me. Right? Here's a picture of this woman walking through the hallway with her mask on, you know, and the guy right behind her with his hand in his pocket, probably on the knife, right? Her last moments alive. Because New York City and our government and our country failed her. Failed. They failed. Because this guy should have been locked up. She's a victim because of their political failure. So you would think that Democratic women would show empathy about this tragedy, right? Do you think they'd be speaking out and going crazy, especially all the anti-Asian hate going up? Let's see. What all the White House press secretary Jen Psaki could do this week when asked about the rise in anti-Asian hate crime, up 339% nationwide since last year, mainly because people are pissed off about COVID, was uh, was fall back on her favorite scapegoat, Donald Trump. She said, "We've seen this rise, unfortunately, because of a hate filled rhetoric and language about the origins of this pandemic." So now she's saying it's not China. I mean, everybody agrees it is, that it came from there, obviously, did. Obviously, it came from that lab in Wuhan. Everybody agrees it did. Even the medical community agrees it did, right? They don't want to say it. And the WHO, because they're going to lose some of their funding. It's all about the money, right? Same for the CDC, but they know it in all the emails that the CDC sent back and forth that have been exposed. They all know it came from there. So, but she's going to blame Trump for this woman's death. So she blamed the prior administration for calling COVID the Wuhan virus. There you go. Which is really racist because number one, all Asians aren't Chinese, you know, and to say that these Asian people are being attacked, they're not being attacked specifically Chinese. You know what I mean? I don't believe in any of that. I believe that, yeah, there's attacks on Asians because of COVID, but not because of Trump. Because nothing, you know what? Because people drop the ball and they're looking the other way. They're looking. They don't care. They're looking the other way on COVID now too. Want it to go away. You know, we're at the highest death rate ever in the United States every day. Over 3,000 people a day dying of COVID. And then finally they admit today in the AMA, they came out and said, well, you know, the CDC and the WHO stopped counting a large group of people, and that's why the numbers went down. Just when we put the new rules in place of not counting people between 18 and 64, the next day, the numbers exponentially went down when they were going up, up, up every day. How do you think that happens? You know how it happens? You make it happen. It's not COVID that's going away. It's these people lying. So anyway, let's see. Saki's excuse is absurd, since everyone has seen, whether in surveillance footage or mugshots, that most perpetrators of assaults against Asian or black males, not a demographic that traditionally takes its cues from Republican presidents. But President Biden's spokesperson must live in a comfortable cocoon there in Washington, D.C. Soft on crime consequences, said airily a few weeks ago in an interview pouring on Fox News coverage. Of course, Fox, they're also vilified. I don't like any of them. Fox, CNN, whatever. And they cover it because they're covering the nationwide crime wave. So they're racist because they're covering the crime wave, right? So Representative Alexandria Ocasio Cortez, affectionately known as AOC, was equally callous towards victims when she claimed that people commit crimes because they are too poor to buy baby formula. So this woman got stabbed 40 times because the guy was too poor to buy baby formula, who had assaulted other people, in and out of jail, has deep mental problems. And what you got to understand about most homeless people, when I hear the homeless crisis being linked to affordable housing, I know that these politicians don't understand what they're talking about. Because most homeless people are there because they are mentally ill, they're drug abusers, they've burned out every outlet in their life to have any kind of life, and that's where they end up. So they don't just need housing. You could take those same people and put them into a beautiful home. It's not going to fix them or their situation. You know, they'll just destroy the home. I've seen enough of that. We want to say these people are criminals, or we want to talk about people who are violent, AOZ said. We don't want to say some things that are obvious, like, gee, the child tax credit just ran out, and now people are stealing baby formula. But now that polls are turning against, you know why people steal baby formula? You want to know why? That's what they make meth with. It's a huge deal, and they're locking up baby formula in all these places because people are stealing it to use for meth. There's nobody out there stealing baby formula for their babies. Do you know how many government programs there are that support and supply women or anyone with baby formula? Do you have any idea how many of those places exist? I work in that industry, kind of. I definitely have arms with New York State, and I understand the health department. I understand all the different programs that are available through DSS and what can be offered people. I certainly understand all of that. So you mean to tell me that this guy stabbed a woman, and she's a female, and she should be sticking up for women too, and she should be sticking up for her own people in the city, but she didn't. It's not the guy's fault. Oh my God. Really? It's not his fault, right? But now the polls are turning against Democrats, and they're weaseling. They're being little Weasley bastards trying to offload all the blame. They don't want to take the responsibility. You want to run for office. You want the position of being the leadership of that community. You know, the representatives. But you don't ever want to see the truth. You're pushing your goddamn agenda. She's pushing the agenda created by the same people who paid for her to be in that office. She's listening to her masters. She's responding to the masters. And it's as simple as that. They're not there for you. They're there for the ones who put them in, right? You can see the changes in Biden as he cozies up to the new mayor Eric Adams, and in an attempt to really be an ally. Let's see. The answer is not to defund the police, said the president during a visit to NYPD headquarters last month. If it's to give you the tools, the training, the funding, to be partners, to be the protectors. That sounds great. But when you're letting people go, or you have these ticking time bombs out in the street, that they're out there with a knife and they're committing multiple crimes and nothing ever happens to them, and then eventually they're going to kill somebody, right? He'll be out. You know what'll happen? He'll go to a psych ward, and you don't spend that much time in these psych wards. And when you go in, They don't look at you as a criminal. They look at you as somebody who's mentally ill, a patient. And this guy could maybe one day very easily go right through the system and be right back on the streets. I've seen cases where just in a few years, people committed murder and committed murder again. And these guys are out in 3 or 4 years because the doctor board deems them okay. And they let them go. So Biden denies ever supporting the defund the police crazies. We remember him, though, at the height of the George Floyd riots, don't we? When Biden was the Democratic president candidate who railed against the systemic racism in police forces, thus branding every cop a bad apple. He railed against them. I remember it. He railed against them, making them all targets. Instead of saying, yeah, we need to suss out the bad ones and keep the good ones. And how about put cops in place? How about police from the neighborhood? How about you have programs from the neighborhoods where you make those guys police officers and those women police officers, right? There's not enough of that. So, but I don't know. Coffee. What would life be without you? I'd probably be tea. So, but Biden refused to disavow the defund movement, even when agreeing in the interview that some funding should absolutely be redirected away from the police. So, what does that mean? You want more funding? You want better cops? Less funding? Worse cops. So, $1 billion was subsequently stripped from the NYPD budget. Of course, the last mayor, that idiot, he ran the city into the ground. And now this mayor, the new idiot, and I'm not giving him any leeway on this. There's a video that came out. This guy calling his the people he was running against and all these other people. This was like in the police department. As he climbed through the police department, calling the white guys crackers and making racial statements against that. And then he just came out and apologized for it. And, I didn't mean to say it or whatever. This guy's no brainiac. That's for sure. And he's already crying racism, which is scary. Because the city doesn't need that. The city needs someone who's going to be strong. So anyway, this is the deal. You're not ever safe, no matter where you are. I don't care where you are. You're not safe. You're not safe walking into your house. You're not safe sitting in your house. You're not safe in an apartment. You're not safe on a bus. You're not safe driving down the road in your car. You're not safe on an airplane. You're not safe on a train or a subway. You're not safe walking down the street. There's sick bastards out there that would hurt you and take all your rights away. And then over your dead body, there's going to be people saying, oh, it's not their fault. It's not their fault. It is their fault. Everything you do is your fault. Period. End of sentence. Everything you commit to, everything that you do, everything that you react to. So that's why you look behind you when people pass you on the street, or even when they don't. You never know when someone's going to jump out at you, right? That's the city. And this woman's dead, and there's not enough people supporting that. She wasn't even Chinese. She's Korean. And the guy who killed her was a repeat offender who should have been sitting in jail with 3 open cases. But because the new DA doesn't think it's good to put people in jail, he should be in jail. He should be in jail. How do you even have a DA that doesn't enforce the law? He didn't write the laws. He doesn't make the laws. He doesn't create the laws. He helps enforce the laws, right? So, but that's the deal. They're looking at the poverty angle. They're not looking at, I'll tell you about this world. You get wise to it pretty quickly. And I already spent too much time talking about this. But I want to talk about the mayor, because when I saw this, I was like, are you serious, man? It made me like, ugh. I was having a little respect for this guy. It seemed like he was saying some good stuff. I don't know about the cracker comments, although I'm not one. Although I do like Cracker Jacks. but I'm not one. I kind of liken them to rednecks. There's plenty of them out there. There's plenty of a lot of people out there, you know, all different types. So it makes us a melting pot. So, New York City Mayor Eric Adams says media covering him through different prism because he's black, 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 black. New York City Mayor Eric Adams lashed out at the news media after his trip to meet with lawmakers in Albany and suggested that the coverage of him is distorted because he's a black man. I'm a black man that's the mayor, but my story is being interpreted by people who don't look like me, Adams said. During a press conference on Tuesday, we got to be honest about that. He said, we got to be honest about that. How many blacks are in the editorial boards? How many blacks determine how these stories are being written? How many Asians? How many East Indians? How many South Asians? I don't know, man. There's a lot of Indians. I don't know, a lot of them running stuff, owning newspapers these days. Asians too. I don't think this guy knows even what the hell he's talking about. Because there's a lot of everybody out there. In fact, there's a black mayor of New York City. And he's not the first one either. We got a black vice president. Oh my God. How about, there's a lot of black people out there. A lot. School. Oh man, when I was in junior high, we had a black principal. Come on, man. I hate it when people say this stuff because he's talking about him and people's comments directed at him. And he's deflecting those comments with the race card. He's holding it up and deflecting those comments and saying, black, 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 black. That's why. Why is it? Black, 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 black. Why is it black? He threw Asians and East Indians out there just to try to cover his tracks. Adams continued, my role as mayor is being interpreted through the prisms of your realities and not mine. So when you write stories, you're not writing stories for people who were almost homeless like me. You're not writing stories for people who were arrested and beaten up by police officers. You're not writing stories. I thought they were writing stories for that. And I do see what? There's homeless. There's police. People getting beaten up. You're not writing stories for those who are dealing with high crime. You're writing them from your prisms. Oh my God. Does he know what a prism is? Ugh. He should have said ivory tower. That sounds better. But prism, does he know what a prism is? Adams said he was not saying this to attack, but his administration is going to be about saying the obvious that other people are uncomfortable saying. It just sounds like he's offloading his lack of responsibility and ineptness on people saying because he's black, and nobody ever said anything about that. He's the one saying. He's the one saying it. He's the one. Yeah. Discomfort is growth, Adam explained. Ooh, really? I guess you should all lower your thermostats there in the winter down to 55 degrees. Discomfort is growth. Are you uncomfortable? Yes. Then you're growing. Woo! Adams then called on the owners of the media companies to diversify their newsrooms. Oh my God. Diversify your newsroom so I can look out and see people that look like me and say we're going to write stories based on the prisms that we have. Back to the prisms. That's not what we're getting, and that's why I'm covered the way I'm covered, and I'm not comfortable with that. I thought he said that being not comfortable is growth. What the hell happened to that? That was just the last sentence. If you're uncomfortable, it's growth, dude. Oh, this dude. Oh, we're gonna have a lot of fun with this guy. He's gonna be in there for a little while, maybe, unless his head explodes. Adams was expressing frustration. Of course, this is the new mayor of New York City. Keep this in mind. This guy's making these crazy comments and talking like this. He's the new mayor of the biggest, most powerful city in the world, New York City. You got that? Adams was expressing frustration. Also, he's the mayor of New York City, where you got a lot of whites and everybody. White, black, Asian, all kinds of Latino. He didn't mention Latinos. Yeah, East Indian. You got everybody in New York City, and he represents everyone equally. But it seems like he spends a lot of time saying black. Adams was expressing frustration with media reports that his trip to Albany to meet the New York lawmakers was rolling back. The state's bail reform laws didn't go smoothly, including one anonymous source who said Adams got beat up by lawmakers in the meeting. So you know why they called him up there? Because crime is out of control in New York City. Stores are getting looted and they're closing down because they can't stay open. They have no stock, nothing to sell. People getting beaten up, stabbed, shot in the street, dead. All kinds of people getting killed for no reason at all. Dead, 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 dead. White, black, no matter what color they are. Asian, dead, 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 dead. And crime, people in restaurants, they're getting robbed. There's 30, 40 people walk through the door with weapons and they rob everybody in the restaurant, take all their jewelry, their wallets, their cell phones, all that. This is going on in New York City all day and all night long. So that's why he was called up there, so they figure out what they're going to do. What are they going to do to fix it? And he just got in, right? The guy used to be a transit cop. He was toting that for a long time. The things that he saw being a transit cop. But you're not a cop anymore. You're a mayor. And you have to understand there's going to need to be a balance between all of that. So Adams says there was no arguing, no yelling, no screaming. This is in the meeting up there. He met with Hochul, and she's crazy too. You ever listen to her talking about, I tuned in. She was like, all you hear is talking to a whole room full of people, right? And she was talking about Jesus and all this stuff. And she's like, everybody here is my disciple. And you all survived COVID. We all survived COVID for a reason, because we do this. Oh, I'm like, oh, so if you didn't survive COVID, no reason? You're just, you're God's children. You're the lambs of God. We're all here. This is the governor of New York State. I was like, what are you saying? Where's where's the molester? Get that Cuomo. Oh, one to another to another. I think they're all freaking crazy. Adams continued. I'm trying to figure out, do you guys really write the stories before I do something and just live out what you've already written? He's saying it's psychic. I'm trying to figure out, do you guys already write stories and they're just going to live it out? That's pretty insightful. I'm gonna I'm gonna stop. All right. I'm going to stop doing off topics, because if you already have your perception of me and you're already going to stick to what you think I am, then why am I doing this? Oh, I gotta hang out with this dude. Adams added that he has been doing a darn good job, whether the media wants to acknowledge it or not. Hey, as long as he thinks so. It's hard to judge. He just got in there. But the problem is, you have all those years of de Blasio running the city into the ground. Now, this guy's got to come in and take something that's crashing into the earth violently and exploding and try to fix it. And if he doesn't have the wherewithal or the tools to do it, and support, most of all, he's not going to be able to do it. So he should have went into that meeting prepared. He should have went into that meeting saying, listen, I need this, 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 and this. And they'll give it to you, and that's it. And, I don't think he understood that he could even do that, right? So this is your new mayor of New York City, in case you're wondering. Eric Adams, everybody. But whatever. I'm not there. And even when I thought about going back down there, I thought, are you crazy? Are you really crazy? So, in red pill news fashion, since we don't have much time left, I'm going to talk about the worst blue pill male of the week. The blue pill, the blue pill male of the week comes from a Valentine's Day mess. Oscar De La Hoya, who you would think wouldn't be a blue pillar, right? But he's got this girlfriend, Holly Saunders. Got her a Ferrari for Valentine's Day. There you go. The Valentine's Day news cycle's not over yet. Oscar De La Hoya purchased a red Ferrari SF90 Stradale for his girlfriend, sports media personality Holly Saunders. Saunders, a former host of Fox Sports, was enormously excited about the gift. In a video shared by TMZ, Saunders said she had thought her boyfriend had forgotten Valentine's Day. But then late that night, her dream automobile showed up. The car starts at $625,000, and Saunders, 34 years old, who was hitting the wall, this model is worth more than $1 million. Got a picture of her with her boobs spilling out, so you can see why he likes her. She looks like a Ferrari. She's got the curves, she's got the zoomy moves and whatever. But dude, cars depreciate fast too, man. And that $1 million could go far with a lot of other people. Why would you do it? Why would you? You're just that you know drunk, drunk in lust. There's another term which I'm not going to say. This is a family show. Are you that drunk in lust that you need to go out and spend $1 million? You know. The 49-year-old De La Hoya, now a fight promoter, won 11 different title belts in 6 different weight classes. But he didn't win this battle, did he? He won a gold medal in '92 Olympics in Barcelona. Now here's a weird picture. She's wearing bra and panties and has a knife over her head with both hands, and he's in his underwear blowing out candles, saying, "Oh, it's happy birthday, feliz cumpleaños, man, happy birthday." And she has her happy birthday, and it's very kinky, very weird scene. $1 million, dude. So every guy, when they enter a relationship with a female, every female who enters a relationship with a guy, you have to negotiate Valentine's Day right from the get go. And if you say to the girl, first of all, if it's a girl with the Botox and the big lips, and every time you talk to them, they're getting their nails done or their hair done, or they're getting their toes curled or whatever, they're getting some chemical treatment, automatically you know that that's something you can't afford, something you don't want, something that you don't even, if people are even into that, you don't even want any part of that, man. No part of it, right? Automatically you know what you're dealing with when you're dealing with someone who's like that, you know. So you say right away, I love you, honey. I love you all year long. But on Valentine's Day, we're gonna have a $20 limit. That's all, $20. You can go out or go out and eat. That doesn't have to be part of the $20. But I'm saying just for gifts going back and forth, $20 will cover some decent chocolates and a card. That's all you need on both sides, is all you need. $1 million Ferrari for a 34-year-old woman who's definitely, I'll guarantee you in a few years he won't even know her name anymore. She'll be down. There'll be her boyfriend will be driving that car. Or she'll sell the thing as fast as possible. Is there any, you know what? Why do you think that they have like a jewelry store right next to the divorce areas? Like divorce, liquor store, jewelry store. They go in there, they get divorced, they get drunk, they go sell their ring. Right? So anyway, that's how it happens. I know a lot of people on their third, fourth marriage, and I often wonder, like, do you just like to do it? Just like to do it? I'll say Jennifer Lopez shared the sweetest gift that Ben Affleck made for her. I don't think we got the time for this. But let's see. Of course, she has a new movie out called "Marry Me" with that guy. I keep forgetting the guy's name. That blonde-haired dude. He's got a real penis nose. He looks like Bill Clinton. If he had if he took that mop off his head, he would just look like. He's aging badly. He's the same in every movie. He was in Armageddon. In fact, he died in Armageddon, man. He was one of those dudes. So what the hell is she said? She said, you know what, J-Lo, being honest with each other, being loving, that's just the basis of everything. That love doesn't cost a thing, she said. I feel like Ben's at the best place in his life, just like how I feel about myself. It's been a journey of learning yourself, figuring yourself out, getting to a place where you feel really good on your own and who you're happy with and a healthy relationship. You know that? Woo! 1 in a million right there. But she's appreciative of the guy that she's with and the love that he has for her and vice versa. So we'll see where that goes. I'm going to end the show on that note, man. It's a positive note. Oh, see you guys. Stay out of New York City. I'll see you guys next week on this here show. Take the red pill, take the red pill, take the red pill. Bye.